All right. Yay, live streaming is working.
Woohoo!
With me, it is always a gamble on whether or not the tech is going to work.
You and me both, sister.
Hey, Kim.
Hi, Alana.
All right. So, for those of you joining us and don't know who Kim is, I'm hoping you know who I am. But I guess first, let me do an introduction of who I am because there may be people watching who don't know who I am. All right. So, I am Alana Rene, and I am a marketing expert specializing in teaching people how to simplify their content creation, right? So for me in my coaching career, one of my biggest frustrations has always been content creation. It has been overwhelming. It has led to burnout. And then all of a sudden, one day, the light bulb went off. And I'm like, oh, it's not that I don't know how to do it. It's not that there's something wrong with me that I can't figure it out. It's that I was missing a plan and a strategy. It's called marketing fundamentals. And inside of my MBA, I am getting my MBA with an emphasis in marketing. So thankfully, all of a sudden, all these pieces suddenly made sense. And I am passionate about helping other coaches and course creators learn how to simplify their content creation, that it's not just chaos. So today, though, we are speaking with Kim. And Kim is the award-winning author of Write and Grow Rich. And she helps coaches, consultants, and service-based entrepreneurs overcome the daily struggle of finding their next client. Yes, stand out from the crowd in their industry and increase visibility, credibility, and authority by publishing a book. So, Write and Grow Rich is actually your second book, correct?
It is my second book. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Because for over 13 years, I was actually a financial advisor. So most people, when I tell the story, they're like, financial advisor to book coach, like what? But it is true. I was a financial advisor for over 13 years and I was struggling to find clients. I was struggling with lead generation because similar to our stories, I went to finance school. They taught me all that amazing stuff about how to be a great advisor. But the marketing part of my coaching from them was go create a top 100 list. And then when you've bugged your friends and family enough, why don't you try networking? Like that was the extent to the marketing advice I got. And so I struggled. And it wasn't until I went out and learned all of these strategies that you and I now both talk about in our respective courses that I finally figured out my marketing. And one of the best strategies that I used, and which I now teach, of course, is that I wrote a book to support my finance business. And in less than 12 years, 12 years, in less than 12 months, I had doubled my income. My business was taking off. I was getting speaking opportunities, medium publicity. Clients were coming to me now wanting to work with me because they'd seen me and they're like, oh my God, I've been meaning to reach out to you. And so all of a sudden lead generation became magnetic instead of having to chase. And have you ever felt that chase energy? Like I hated that part, right? So writing the book transformed my business in so many ways that I just decided entrepreneurs, service-based coaches, course creators, content creators, they need to know this strategy. And that's when I shifted gears and started teaching people how to write books, then use it in conjunction with speaking opportunities to really accelerate their results and grow their business.
1000%. And you and I have talked about this. I think it's the greatest disservice, especially, with me being a coach. So from my experience, it's, you get your certification and a lot of times we get more than one certification and the advice is the same every single time, right? Here's your coaching certification, go get 3 clients. Nobody teaches us how to build a business and nobody teaches us how to market. And marketing is a fundamental skill in business, regardless of what that business is. I think it's the greatest disservice that the industry does, and even in sales, right? Because I realized, in fact, it was just yesterday, I realized, oh, wait, I know more about marketing because I've been in sales for over 20 years. But nobody ever talks about it being marketing. It is marketing. Sales is marketing. And if you don't know how to market, you're not good at sales. but that's not why we're here today.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, and before we even went on, it's so true though, right? I know for me, part of the big struggle, besides not being taught how to do the marketing piece, was, how do you figure out who it is that you want to talk to, right? So there are a lot of fundamentals that go into that, and the whole idea of being able to be taught that. We get into business because we're passionate about something. We go get the certifications, we want to help people, and then we're left to fail. And the failure rate for coaching, especially the coaching industry, is I think upwards of 97%. So part of my bigger vision for me and my business is those numbers should be reversed. Why can't we be teaching entrepreneurs and coaches and consultants the skills that they need to flip those numbers on their head? We should be having a 97% success rate, because people need help. They need coaching. They need mentorship. And, it's my big mission and vision in life to flip those numbers on their head, and let's help support entrepreneurs to be successful.
And teach them business, right? Teach them
Absolutely.
business, and marketing is the fundamental. It's the foundation of every business. Agreed. I did not realize the statistics were that high.
Yeah.
And understandable.
Yep.
So
totally crazy.
So speaking of audience, and who is your audience? So we are talking today about the Influential Entrepreneur Summit. Right?
Yes.
Tell me more about that. What is that?
So it's really a 3-day event where we're going to gather coaches, consultants, and experts in marketing and in business. So content creators, entrepreneurs, people who are out there shaping and helping other entrepreneurs grow. So whether you're just starting out in your business, whether you're looking to grow, or whether you're at the point where you're trying to scale, this is going to be a summit where we bring together marketing and business and sales experts to help you have a better business and have a better life, right? Because let's face it, we're in business to make money, but the money is really all about what that buys for us, right? What's our dream life look like? And for me, I know that that's all about traveling. It's being able to do my business on my terms. It's be able to have that time and money freedom. And so I knew I had to go out and get all those skills. And it took me years to find some of these skills. So I'm going to gather all of these people in one place over 3 days. So if you are a coach or a course creator and you're looking to up level and get in front of more audiences, learn how to up level your influence, your income, and your impact, then this might be an event you want to attend. But also, if you're an expert, maybe it's a event you'd like to become a speaker on.
And that's what I want to focus on first, right? Because there's two sides to this, right?
Yes.
So there's the speaker side, and then there's the attendee. So I want to talk about speakers first. Why would somebody want to be a speaker at a summit, right? Like I've been a speaker a couple of times at summits. And so why would somebody want to be a speaker?
Well, there's tons and tons and tons of reasons, but we of course don't have time to go into all of them today. So I thought I'd just point out kind of my top 7 reasons that I use speaking to grow my business. So, and when I talk about summits, put your business hat on and think about this as these same strategies apply, whether you're talking about being a guest expert speaker on a podcast, right? On a summit, at a live conference, at in somebody's Facebook group, or in their program as a guest expert speaker. So these same rules apply, but it's really the idea of how do you use speaking to get a bigger audience, to grow your business. And so number 1 is that you get that increased visibility and authority, right? So speaking at a virtual summit allows you to showcase your expertise to a wider audience, right? And establish yourself as that credible expert in your or an authority in your field, so that you gain credibility amongst the audience, amongst the peers, and amongst your potential clients, right? So by teaching, we always perceive that person at the front of the room as the teacher, as the credible expert. So being able to get on and be able to create value for the audience, you position yourself as an expert and authority, which helps shorten the know, like, and trust cycle, which helps bring clients down your path to working with you. So that's big, the number one thing, I think.
I would agree, because that's one of the things that I work with my clients is, or hear so much from my clients, is they feel like there's this void out there, right? There's this void. They're speaking out into a black hole because they're posting every day on social media, or they're sending out their emails, but they're not, it's like crickets. Right?
Yeah.
And if you're not leveraging other people's audiences, and it's not a competition, right? It's leveraging, it's supporting, you have skill. You and I speak on, let's use us as an example. You and I have a very similar message, yet we go about it in different ways.
Absolutely.
Right. And so leveraging each other's audiences, and summits are actually a fabulous way to do that. In addition to, because it's not just my audience you're reaching out to, or your audience that I'm reaching out to, it's everybody who's on the summit.
Right, which is actually number two. It's reaching that wider audience, because it's not just me promoting the summit and trying to get butts in seats. So if you've ever had a struggle of getting butts in seats to your own workshops or events, a summit's a fabulous way to widen and I guess throw out a bigger net, if you will, because it's not just me promoting, but it's the summit host that's promoting, and it's all the other speakers that are promoting, right? So for example, I was on a summit a little while ago, the Authority, Influence, and Profit Summit. There were over 65 speakers. So imagine 64 other people helping promote the summit. Now you're not doing this alone in a vacuum, right? You're getting the promotion of the host, of yourself, and all of the other speakers. So it really allows you to widen that audience and build that audience.
Well, and if you think about it, because the fundamentals of marketing is the same, right? Our
Yep.
channels may have changed. So an analogy we could use on a summit is, large corporations have these large marketing budgets for a reason, and for advertising, so that they can reach these large audiences that they might not reach otherwise. So they pay for radio, they pay for TV, they pay for website, right? Whatever ad avenue channel that they're doing, they're paying like millions. Super Bowl, right? They're paying millions of dollars in advertising budgets to reach those people. As small businesses, as solo entrepreneurs, we don't have that budget. Right. So summits are a great way to leverage that audience.
Absolutely. And speaking of money and budgets for advertising, the third tip that I would say is a great benefit for being on a virtual summit is the opportunity to make money. So for most summits that you're on, the summit host, again, doesn't have this big budget for advertising, but what they do is they do a revenue split with all of the speakers. So they're running all of your advertising, they're creating copy for you, they're creating graphic images for you to share as a speaker, and through those unique links to you as the speaker, you get to profit share in any of the VIP ticket upgrades and all that kind of stuff. So not only do you get to revenue share with the host, but hopefully if you've, with intention and purpose, picked a good summit that has your ideal audience in mind, the really bigger purpose of the summit is not to make money off the ticket sales, but it's to make money on the back end. So what are you speaking about on the summit as it relates to your perfect client and a problem that they want solved? And then at the end of your talk, you're offering them a way to take another step with you so they can have that problem solved. And hopefully at the end of the day, you've got something that you're going to walk them down the path to doing with you, right? Whether it's a coaching program, a course, workshops, or how are you going to monetize your summits? Something really important to think of, but really, really powerful if you can get it right.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to preface this. It looks like my internet is getting a little wonky. So if I freeze, I apologize.
Oh, the internet.
I know. Technology.
Right.
That's a great point. What's your next point?
So we talked about it a little bit in all of these other ones, but you get these networking opportunities, right? So virtual summits are attracting industry professionals and experts that are hopefully, again, if you've picked a good summit that has your ideal audience in mind, then these other speakers can be collaborative partners, right? They're hopefully somebody that's teaching something that's complementary to what you're already teaching. So just like Alana, you mentioned earlier in our talk, we come at marketing foundations from a different perspective. So you're helping somebody with, content creation from like top to bottom of sales funnel. I'm helping somebody with content creation, but one very specific, unique piece of their content platform, if they decide to do it, which is having that expert positioning book, right? So you and I can work together because we have a similar audience, but we're doing different things. So we're not competing against each other. We're more complementary. So when you're working on a virtual summit and you're speaking on a virtual summit, it really allows you that unique chance to connect with other like-minded experts in your industry or in your niche for potential collaboration. And I truly believe that when you foster relationships with other experts, it can lead to faster, more exponential growth because you take on that idea of that rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
The collaboration.
It's so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you used the word exponential. At least that was the word that was in my head. And it is, it's exponential, right? So you're not having to, the analogy, old school marketing analogy of door-to-door sales, right? If your strategy is social media marketing, essentially you're doing door-to-door sales.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It's one at a time, it's time consuming, and you're not opening a lot of doors. Whereas when you're speaking, if you're using the strategy of speaking, summits, podcasts, expert guests, that just magnifies your reach. Again, goes back to one of the other points, right? Maximizing your reach. And that's the whole point. And right now, as to grow our business, that's what we need. So, and I think it's so much more powerful too when you're speaking.
Yeah.
Because people really, you're right, it shortens that know, like, trust, because people get to see you, they get to hear you, right? Get to, oh yeah, I like her. Oh no, she's not my person.
And that's okay, right? You and I talk about this a lot, that it's okay to magnetically attract your perfect people to you. And in doing so, you tend to repel, just like a magnet attracts, but if you put it the wrong way, it repels. It's okay to repel the people who aren't meant to work with you.
1000%.
There's going to be someone that's a better fit for them. So don't be afraid to repel people by just being authentically you, and your perfect clients will be drawn to you. So get out there and shine.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Next point.
So the next point would be, to me, is it's a really great opportunity to repurpose content. So your summit presentation can then be turned into other various forms of content, like blog posts and videos and social media updates, right? I talk about this a lot with using a book, right? The book is that one big ginormous piece of content that then you can break down into smaller bits, right? So when people are struggling with what to create all the time, obviously having a content plan and a strategy is super important, but your speaking opportunities beget another way to repurpose your content and position yourself as that expert that's talking on stage, right? So you can then use your summit content as a guest expert speaker to be able to repurpose onto all of your different social platforms and use that content to get more reach yourself on your own platforms.
Right.
Yeah.
So important. All right, next point.
Next point would be, for me, it prepares you for other media opportunities. So media begets media. And so by getting out and speaking on more podcasts, on more summits, and all of these things, you actually enhance and develop your speaking skills. And when people see you as a professional, well-spoken speaker, it creates more speaking opportunities. It's kind of like, which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Like, well, I've never spoken somewhere before, and then how do I get more speaking opportunities? It's that same idea that the more you get out there, the better you get, the better polished you are. And once you've done it once or two times, now you've got some signature talks, if you will, that you can go out, and when speaking opportunities present themselves, you're prepared. So I know there's a quote, right, that luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
So go out and just do it. Even if you're a little bit nervous to do it, please get out there, go and find a podcast, go find a summit to speak on. I'm going to share with you an opportunity to get on potentially a summit coming up, and then use that to get even more speaking opportunities.
Well, and it's you have to start somewhere, right? I remember when I first started doing lives just a few years ago, and I don't do them often, right? Lives are not my favorite. However, like when I first started, it was the shaky voice. I didn't know. I mean, it was awful, 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 awful. And then now, like right now, we're live streaming, but now I'm used to it. I'm used to the virtual environment. I'm used to being on camera, right? And so it's getting easier. And I know like the first summit I was on, I'm like, who the hell am I to be on a summit?
Oh my God. Hey, if you're listening and you're thinking, exactly, am I even an expert enough to do this? Right? It's all of those little voices. And a coach once told me too, if you can't look back on one of your first videos or your first live streams or your first summit interviews and not cringe a little bit, you waited too long. So just get out there. You will get better. With practice, you will get better.
Exactly. And that's what I had to view it as. It was practice, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
and again, so you take this back to, marketing, it's a skill that we have to learn, right? It's not about going viral with one video, right? It really is a foundational skill to learn. Same as speaking. And so you have to start somewhere so that you can get feedback, get more comfortable, learn. And yeah, I do. I remember my first summit. I really did. I'm like, who am I and why are you reaching out to me to ask me to be on your summit? And I did it and I loved it. It was a good experience.
And it's funny that we're even talking about this, because I was just looking back at a previous interview that I did, because I started out and I would be so nervous that I would talk super, super, super fast. And I was listening to a couple of my old videos just yesterday, and I was like, wow, I was like talking so fast. And it's not until you get, again, some more practice that you start to take the ums and the likes and some of your little ticks that you have when you're speaking, your ability to change pace and slow down and do things a little bit more methodically. But that, again, just takes practice. So if you're thinking that speaking might be on the table for you and you haven't done it yet, get out there and do it. And if you're watching this and you are an expert speaker, then just get out and do it some more. It really is a great way to grow your business.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. I have lost count on the tips.
So that was number 6. So I'm going to end with number 7, and which in fact, it's number 7 here, but it really is the number 1 reason that you should be thinking about summits as a great way to grow your business. And that is lead generation. So your summit is one of the best ways to grow your list, right? To get in front of attendees that are your perfect audience, some of who may become leads for your business, so you can walk them down the path to working with you. But it all starts with getting out there, getting in front of the audience, delivering great value, and then making sure that you have a compelling and clear call to action, usually in the form of a free lead magnet, right? Something that is a resource and a next step that they can take. I do not recommend pitching something for sale on a summit. It's not enough time to build know, like, and trust, but you can definitely get them to take another step. And what is the next step after a summit? It's usually a resource or a freebie that gets them onto your email list. Maybe it's an invitation to a workshop or a live event that they can come and attend for free. It's usually a free tool resource that can be delivered digitally that helps get them into your community. So you went to someone else's community, and now your job is to bring those leads back to your community so you can start nurturing that relationship, right? Building the connection, because connection equals currency. And eventually, at some point, they're either going to opt out of your list or they're going to hopefully become a customer. So lead generation is the number 1 reason to get out on summits, position yourself as an expert, and make more money so you can have a better business.
Absolutely. Because if you don't get them into your community, you don't have the opportunity to nurture them.
Absolutely.
So they get to know you more. Okay. So there is a reason that we've been talking about this all day.
That's right.
So what is that reason?
That reason is the upcoming Influential Entrepreneur Summit. It's happening from November 7th to 9th. But right now, what we're looking for is speakers, expert guest speakers. So if you have something that you can share that will help entrepreneurs up level their influence, their income, their impact in their world, if you teach coaches and course creators anything to do with how to start, grow, or scale a business, you teach marketing, you teach sales, you teach, time management, anything to optimize the life of entrepreneurs, then we'd love to invite you, or I would love to invite you to a speaker information call happening this Friday, which is September 22nd at 11 a.m. Eastern. 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 p.m. Eastern. Come and hear whether you think that this summit might be a good opportunity for you to do some of these things that we talked about today, right? Whether it's reach a wider audience, make more money, build your authority or credibility, repurpose your content, network with other experts, grow your email list, and set yourself up to even speak even more. If any of these things are on your list as an entrepreneur, I'd love to see you at the speaker information call. See if the summit might be a good fit for you to speak on.
Now, how do they get the information for the speaker call?
So I've got a link to the call that I can share with you in the comments below the video. So check the comments below and I will drop the registration link for the speaker call in the comments. Or I'll pass it over to you too, Alana, so you can do that.
Great. So it'll be posted in a couple different places, but there is a registration link. And I was on last week's call. I am going to be a speaker at the summit. I'm very excited about it.
Yep.
And what you are offering speakers, I haven't seen it done this way before. So I'm really, really excited to experience the summit, but also how you're running it is different, right? The speaker calls, but also what the speakers get. It's not just show up and hope you get an audience, right? You actually have some benefits for us. So that will all be talked about on the speaker call as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. Lots of gamification, lots of ways to interact, lots of speaker resource calls, and you'll learn all about what that looks like on the call on Friday. So if you would love the opportunity to speak on summits as a way to grow your business, I'd love to see you on the call on Friday.
Awesome. Any last words?
That is it. Please get out there, get visible. Your clients are waiting for you, not just someone like you. So get out there, get visible, and get more clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Until next time.
Bye.